Have you ever smelled a strong odor on an older person and been embarrassed to even comment on it? Or worse, have you ever noticed that smell on yourself and tried to cover it up without knowing why it appeared? What almost nobody tells you, but which could change your relationship with your body and your self-esteem, is that this smell has a scientific explanation. And no, it has nothing to do with dirt or lack of hygiene. Get ready. What you're about to discover here may shock you, but it will also liberate you. Dr. Ricardo, a specialist with more than 2 decades of experience, reveals the behind the scenes of this silent change that takes place in our bodies over the years. A compound called 2-nonenal starts to be released and completely alters our natural smell. And the worst part? It doesn't come off with ordinary soap. But calm down. There's no need to panic. There is a solution, and it's closer and more natural than you think. If you want to maintain a healthy day, feel more confident, and even improve your relationships, you need to watch to the end. By the way, let me ask you something. Where are you watching this video from? Write the name of your city or state in the comments. I really want to know how far this message is reaching you, and take advantage. Comment number 1 below if you're already with me at the beginning of the video. If you continue watching, comment number 2. This helps the channel, the content, and also shows me that you're here, really learning. Yes, this video may seem like just another informative piece of content, but what you'll learn here will make you look at the mirror differently. We're going to talk about routine, diet, skin, self-esteem, and the power of a fruit that might be in your kitchen right now. So take a deep breath, hold on tight, and come with me to the end. Because understanding this can be the watershed between embarrassment and freedom. Have you ever noticed how some older people's skin seems to change dramatically over time? Dr. Ricardo, a dermatologist for more than 20 years, says that most of his patients only seek help when they can literally feel the invisible effects of time on their skin. What few people know is that over the years, the body reduces its production of natural antioxidants. And this isn't just a technicality. It's the starting point of a chain reaction that affects our appearance, our smell, and even our self-esteem. A healthy day begins with the awareness that time, however subtle it may seem, never sleeps. Imagine Dona Marta, 67, who has always had luscious skin, but began to notice a different smell on her body, even with all her hygiene care. It got to her. Her husband discreetly began to avoid her tight hugs. It was only then that she discovered that the problem wasn't sweat, it was lipid oxidation. When antioxidants decrease, lipids in the skin suffer from free radical attack, releasing compounds that gradually alter our natural smell. This can be emotionally devastating, and that's where the silent danger lies. You may be asking yourself, but can we prevent this? The answer is, in parts, yes. Starting a healthy day includes care that goes far beyond bathing. We're talking about a routine rich in foods such as blueberries, purple grapes, Brazil nuts, and green tea. These natural allies help the body maintain a more balanced production of antioxidants, especially after 40. Oh, and of course, sleeping well and avoiding constant stress are also key pieces in this skin aging puzzle. Want to protect your skin? Take care of your routine, not just your appearance. Dr. Ricardo likes to remind us, time waits for no one, but those who anticipate it live better. Having a healthy day also means learning to notice the little signs. That feeling of rougher skin, a stronger smell at the end of the day, even with deodorant. It could all be your body whispering that something is changing inside. And when you learn to listen to these signs, you can prepare yourself for what comes next. And believe me, the next step is even more surprising. Few people know it, but there is an invisible culprit behind that stronger smell that some older people get. Its name? Coccinonenal. Difficult to pronounce, easy to identify. Dr. Ricardo explains that around the age of 40, the body starts a silent internal process. The breakdown of omega-7 fatty acids. This process releases 2-nonenal into the skin, a substance with a strong, persistent, and often embarrassing odor. That's why maintaining a healthy day is no longer just about washing and applying perfume. Dona Rosa, who has always been vain and smelly, began to notice that even the most expensive perfumes didn't hold their scent for long. Her grandson even asked, "Grandma, why do you smell different today?" It broke her heart, and what she didn't know, like most people, was that it wasn't a lack of cleanliness. It was the body changing inside, releasing that 2-nonenal. The smell that many people think is old is actually scientifically based and can appear even before the age of 50. Yes, it's more common than you might think. The good news is that understanding the enemy is the first step to neutralizing it. According to Dr. Ricardo, there are ways to slow down this process. Having a healthy day involves conscious choices, avoiding ultra-processed foods, reducing consumption of bad fats, and including sources of omega-3, such as chia and linseed. This balances lipids and reduces excess omega-7, reducing the production of 2-non-enol. It's care that starts on the plate and is reflected in hugs, social interaction, and even the way people look at us. When people understand this relationship between what they eat, what they live, and what they exhale, changing habits happens naturally. No one wants to alienate the one they love just because of an invisible, but felt detail. And that's just the beginning. Dr. Ricardo always says, the biggest problem is not what the body produces, but what it can't eliminate. And that's the next big challenge when you're looking for a healthy, embarrassment-free day. Do you know how you take a long bath with a sponge, perfumed soap, and plenty of water, but the smell still lingers? There's an explanation for this, and it has nothing to do with a lack of hygiene. 2-non-enol, that substance that starts to be released more strongly after 40, is not soluble in water. Dr. Ricardo often says that it's like an inconvenient visitor. It settles in and refuses to go away with just soap and water. For those who want a healthy day without embarrassment, understanding this changes everything. Mr. Antero, for example, has always been vain. He'd bathe morning, noon, and night, but his grandson still complained of a strange smell when he passed by. He changed the soap, tried expensive deodorants, even bought imported soaps, and nothing. It was only during a consultation that he discovered that 2-non-enol requires specific active ingredients to be neutralized. Ordinary soap, no matter how good smelling, simply can't break down the structure of this compound. And what does that lead to? Frustration, shame, and isolation. It's at this point that many people give up, thinking that the smell is normal for age. But this is a myth that needs to be busted. Dr. Ricardo reinforces that living a healthy day goes beyond bathing. It's about using the right products. Soaps with specific ingredients, such as polyphenols and natural extracts, are the only ones that can act against 2-non-enol. And interestingly, these products don't have to be expensive or hard to find. You just have to know how to look for them and choose wisely. The truth is that the body does change. But that doesn't mean settling for these effects. How many people do you know who avoid tight hugs because they're ashamed of the way they smell? Or who prefer to stay at home for fear of staring? The good news is that the next step in this journey could completely transform this reality, and it has to do with a powerful fruit that many people already know about, but don't realize the potential it carries. Believe it or not, one of the most effective solutions against the dreaded 2-non-enol comes straight from nature and tastes sweet. Yes, we're talking about persimmons. Dr. Ricardo was impressed to see studies showing that the extract of this fruit contains compounds called tannins, which have a high deodorizing power. They bind to 2-non-enol molecules and effectively neutralize the smell. In other words, the road to a healthy day can start with something you can even find at the market. Donna Nade, after years of suffering nasty comments about her strong smell, discovered a soap with persimmon extract recommended by Dr. Ricardo himself. Within 2 weeks, she noticed the difference. "I seem to recognize myself in the mirror again," she said with tears in her eyes. Her self-esteem, which had been in pieces, began to rebuild, and her grandchildren began to snuggle on her lap again. That's the power of the right information, applied with care and consistency. But beware, not just any product has a sufficient concentration of the extract. Dr. Ricardo warns, read the labels. Prefer soaps that clearly state the presence of persimmon extract and polyphenols. In addition, combining the use of these products with a moisturizing routine and a diet rich in antioxidants enhances the effects. In other words, not only do you neutralize the smell, but you also strengthen your skin's natural barrier. And this kind of care is what turns a simple shower into a real wellness ritual. And if a fruit can do so much for you, imagine what else is within our reach, but we simply ignore it for lack of knowledge. The next step on this journey is to look beyond soap and begin to understand that body odor also comes from within. And it's there that the real transformation begins. A healthy day begins with external choices, yes, but it is consolidated with internal habits that make all the difference. Dr. Ricardo often says that body odor tells the story of a person's routine. Strong, right? But it makes perfect sense. It's not just soap that defines whether someone is going to have a healthy day. It's habits. The combination of good personal hygiene and smart food choices is what really determines how much the two known enol will impact your life. And the best part? It's all in your hands, literally. You just have to want it. Mr. Elias, 71, was tired of hearing jokes in his church group, until he decided to change. He started using soaps with persimmon extract, as he learned from Dr. Ricardo, but he also changed what he put on his plate. More red fruits, more dark green leaves, less fried food. Within 2 months, the strong smell was gone, and with it, the shame he had been carrying. The transformation was such that he became a reference point for vitality among his friends, all because of habits that anyone can adopt. And when it comes to healthy habits, it's not just about food. It's about walking 30 minutes a day, drinking enough water, sleeping well, and taking care of your emotional health. Yes, even stress affects body odor. Did you know that? A healthy day involves a clear mind, a moving body, and conscious decisions. Dr. Ricardo always reinforces, a body intoxicated by bad habits will not exude lavender perfume, no matter how expensive the soap. The truth hurts, but it sets you free. The big turning point comes when you understand that self-care isn't about vanity. It's about emotional and social survival. There's no right age to start, but the sooner, the better. Today could be the first day of the rest of your life. But are people ready for this change? And more importantly, are they willing to face up to what's really behind that persistent smell? Now that you understand the real reason behind that persistent smell, and more importantly, how to avoid it, the question remains, what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to continue ignoring the signals your body is sending you? Or are you going to start living a healthy day today with more conscious choices? How many times have you stopped hugging someone or felt insecure for fear of what others would perceive? How many times have you looked in the mirror and wished you had the confidence you had before? The truth is that you can. Yes, you can change this game with simple actions, such as taking care of your diet, choosing the right products, and paying attention to what your skin is saying. And if this content has touched you in any way, if it has helped you, enlightened you, or given you a wake-up call, please comment below. Tell me your story, share your question, or even that habit you're going to change from now on. Because there's nothing more powerful than people helping people. This is the start of a transformation that will improve your relationships, your self-esteem, and your quality of life. So, don't let this chance pass you by. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications, and stay with me on this journey towards more well-being, more lightness, and more health. Because a healthy day starts with information, but it only becomes reality with action.